So let's get started. Good evening to all. As Patrick said, my name is Daniel Šárovec, and together with Michel Perottino, we are going to present you our first initial academic contribution within the remarks of political parties and their terms of digitalization. So as you can see, according to our title, we would like to speak about some remarks about the digitalization of political parties. We will be covering the following three main areas. So first, we are going to tell you something about the party in the digital world, with focus to online marketing as well as on online tools. Our second point is the party organization, with the focus on the two main ways how to organize. The first one is adaptation, the second one is a new model. And finally, third question is the party membership and its connection with digitalization and digital aspects of political parties. So, I would like to start with some small and short historical background. We can define that the political parties were close to technological limits within the history and within their existing. So it means that the technology was very closely connected with possible usable tools. According Manuel Castells, we can say that electronic media are a privileged space of politics. So it means that there is another quite close connection between political space and digital or electronic media space. In this topic, we can define a lot of terms. Some of them are similar, some of them are totally different. But in a result, we can say that online marketing and political parties is something which is a new form of marketing communication. It's some kind of newness and some kind of genuinely new approaches to this topic, or to this kind of problem. Michel here has one illustration and some remark to it. So Michel, floor is yours.
Thank you. We can see here one of the first attempts to propose a sort of systematic way to digitalize, especially the communication of the party. It was implemented by the ODS, the right-wing party, ODS, in the second half of the 2000 years. And it was mainly not only a way to digitalize the party, which was not completely and obviously positively apprehended by the party, but also a way to reach young people, young voters, and to claim a sort of modernity. And practically the blue team of the ODS today is not functioning.
Yeah, thank you. So it was only a small historical insight into one Czech political party. It's ODS, in English, Civic Democratic Party, in Czech, Občanská demokratická strana. Okay, on this slide, you can see some summarization of online tools and political parties from a practical point of view. The basic assumption is that the primary goal is to distribute some kind of information. And we can do so via very well-known online tools like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and so on and so on. But on the other hand, we still have websites, and we can say that websites are probably the most complex tool which can be used within the online world or digital tools. So why is it so? Within the websites we can find, and we can use chats, some videos, or some moderated or offline discussions, and so on and so on. But the websites are very often used like a personal presentation of politicians or of party candidates, and so on and so on. So it means that they are using only their some small websites or their personal blogs for some expressing of their ideas and so on. Or we can talk about microsites. Microsite is something like an individual web page or a small cluster of pages, and it is let's say a complement tool to some other website or other online activity. Yeah, so we can say that this is our some a subgroup of big groups which is named website. Another way of participation is that we can differ online or offline approaches to the digital participation. Of course, especially within the online way of participation, we can talk about permanent communication. Today we are often talking about the age of permanent campaigning, and this is something additional to this. We are in the age of permanent communication, not only on the dynamic tools within the websites, but especially within the Facebook and comments on Facebook, within some interactions on Twitter, and so on and so on. Of course, online tools can be very effectively used within the mobilization activities or fundraising activities. And here we have some small case study focused on Czech Pirate Party. The Czech Pirate Party was already mentioned here, and this is quite unusual within the Czech environment, because the Czech Pirate Party was using quite effectively fundraising online websites, independent websites. On the left, you can see Hit website, and on the right, you can see Startovač website. Startovač can be translated, I don't know, maybe as a starter website, like it's for new projects. So this is the idea of the name of this website. On the left, you can see a fundraising online campaign 4 years ago. It was for the Chamber of Deputies election in the Czech Republic in 2017. On the right, you can see fundraising activity for the 2019 European Parliament elections. And it's pretty interesting that in both cases, Czech Pirate Party was very successful, and their target amount exceeded their expectations. Yeah, on the left you can see that they were able to have much more money than they expected, and on the right it was very similar. So maybe it was some kind of experiment or some kind of looking for new ways or new paths how to do fundraising within the Czech political parties or within the Czech political environment, and in this cases it was successful.
So we can continue with the organization of political parties, and especially the framing of the intra-party democracy. And practically, we can start from a very simplistic view, in the sense that we can have two approaches. The first will be the adaptation of the party organization. In this case, adaptation to the digitalization and to the aim of better communication, etc. Or the second model is to implement or to bring a new organizational model of a political party. We can start from a lot of theoretical foundation. I've chose two to be a little bit simple. In the first case, we start from the idea that every party practically implements some organizational changes. In this case, it was the Norwegian political parties. And in our case, this means that every party will be able to implement one or more aspects of digitalization in the frame of the old organization. And the second model is the model of a new political organization, practically founded from the basis on the idea of a cyber party. The notion or the concept of cyber party is much more older. Practically, it's about 15 years old concept, which was adapted to some other realities. And if we take into account the evolution of Czech political parties, the practical aspect of this theoretical aspect is that in every cases, or almost every cases, we have an adaptation of the oldest or older model of organization, a digitalization of the oldest way to organize political parties. This means that the digitalization is just a sort of modernization of an oldest model. And practically we have only one party which correspond to the idea or the ideal type of cyber party or of new model of political party organization. And this specific party is the Pirates Party in Czech Republic. So practically in all the Czech parties, we have more or less effective digitalization of the party organization, and only one party can match more or less with the ideal type of cyber party.
Another term needs to be mentioned here, and it's a cyber party. We can understand it as a new link to IT development within the political parties. Sometimes you can see or you can reach the term the internet parties, and there's possible to understand it in two meanings. The first one is the pirate parties, in terms of the content or issues or policy which they are promoting. And the second one is cyber parties as a form or as a way of organization and communication within all political parties. So which means not only within pirate parties, but it's like a universal term which can be fulfilled another political party. To this problem, there is necessary point some principal problems which are connected not only with cyber parties, but with digitalization or digital politics or digital parties. The first one is digital divide. Digital divide is it refers to the gap between those who are not able to benefit from the digital age and those who are. So it's quite, let's say, clash between the people who are not able to benefit from the digital age and between the group of people who are. Another thing is the problem that if we are having campaigning only in online, that we are probably already convinced target groups. The third thing is that there is a problem of recruiting members to public office, because yeah, it's very nice and attractive to have a digital political party and use digital tools and so on. But in a result, you need to focus on democratic processes as well as recruiting people in a physical way, I would say, or I don't know how to express it in another way, but yeah, it's about the people who need to be nominated as representatives of the public office. And the last problem, it can be described as a carpet beggars. Which refers to opportunistic takeover of the party. Yeah, maybe you know carpetbagger from the history of United States, where carpetbaggers were a derogatory term applied by Southerners to opportunistic Northerners who came to Southern states after the American Civil War and who were perceived to be exploiting the local populace for their own financial, political, and social gain. And nowadays, carpetbagger is a political candidate who seeks votes in an area where he has no ties, no connections, and so on. So this is another potential problem which can be defined within the cyber parties or the cyber politics. And again, some small case study, as we were a little bit talking about Czech Pirate Party within their fundraising activities via independent website tools for this purpose. Now we would like to show you partisan online platforms of this party. On the left, you can see a screen of the wiki website of the Czech Pirate Party, and this wiki website offers a variety of links and information related to the internal functioning of the party. You can see some sections which are within this party. So there is some section there is a section about party bodies, party press releases, parties YouTube videos, parties events, parties open bookkeeping, and so on. So this is some additional tool to the usual website of the Czech Pirate Party. So it's quite important and traditional online tool which is used by Czech Pirate Party, yeah, used and maybe as I'm looking on the screen at the top of the page, you can see very small links which are linking to another let's say microsites or another sites which are focusing on another kind of running or functioning of the political parties of the Czech Pirate Party. And the second one screen on the right of this slide is a forum of the Czech Pirate Party. This is the tool which has been already mentioned here. And this internet forum has a subtitle, "The Internet is Our Sea." So this is subtitle of the forum of Czech Pirate Party. And in this forum, party supporters can register, then can access to the internal party debate. There can be done some voting activities, some open discussions within the party delegates as well as party members, and so on. And another tool which is used by Czech Pirate Party for voting is Helios voting system. this voting system makes possible for members both to be physically present at the National Forum, for example, which is the annual event of the Czech Party, and or to be anywhere else in the world and do the choice, make the choice remotely with no physical, let's say, physical activities within the annual National Forum event. Yeah, so this is something which was being reflected by Olivier Pereira in his chapter in one collective monograph. So in the Czech political environment, the Czech Pirate Party is the only political party who uses this voting system. And here you can see how is it looking when voting or when we are after voting. This picture shows the output from the first round of a party chairman election, and here you can see it's down. This question number 1. Jako předseda České pirátské strany je pro mě přijatelný, which means in English, as a chairman of the Czech Pirate Party for me is acceptable. And then there were made some choices. So you can see how the Helios voting system looks when it's operating, when it's when the election is running.
So we'll pass to another question, and this is the question of the intra-party democracy, intra-party communication, especially. We can see a lot of party experimenting, for instance, online forums or online meetings, and especially, of course, during the pandemic, online conferences or online gathering. For instance, on the right side, you have a photo of the national conference of the Social Democratic Party, which was held on Zoom and on Facebook. This may be a very interesting aspect, has to be also, let's say, dramatized or questioned, because we can point out especially some practical questions, such technical support or the question of the security. But this has to be linked, for instance, to the question of the equality of the members of the party. And in this case, we can question, of course, the capacity of the members to be able to join the gathering and to be acting during this type of event. We can pass to the other slide. In the question of the intra-party decision making, we have also a lot of practical aspects which were practically solved by collaborative platforms, especially through forums. But we have also, for instance, some parties using elections, especially digitalized elections. We have on the right side the elections during the conferences, national conferences of the right-wing party Top 09, which use the tablets to be more efficient and more rapid and efficient during the intra-party elections. And once again, we have to put out the question of the membership and to point out some unsolved questions, especially the know-how not of the administration or the organization of the party, but the know-how of the members, the capacity of the connection of the members, the equality of the members, and of course, and this was very visible during the pandemic, the change of the nature of the interpersonal communication, which means also the question of the party identity. And in the Czech case, of course, we have another point which is important, and this is the evolution after 1989, when the political parties were, generally speaking, very delegitimized, and we have tried some new forms of joining the party. In this case, of sympathizers or registered supporters. Which we have in some practical aspects in the next slide. Thank you. So we have, for instance, once again, Top 09 with their model of sympathizers. The Digitalization was, let's say, populist party called Public Affairs, which also was very interesting because the sympathizers have more, practically more rights than the members, and so on. And we can go to the conclusion. Once again, very generally speaking, but mainly on the basis of the Czech cases, the digitalization of political parties is obviously necessary, but how to do it and what does it change for the party are questions that are not for the moment really answered. And practically, of course, all the parties adapt to the necessity of the digitalization, with only one exception. Once again, the Czech Pirate Party, which is the only case of a party corresponding to the ideal type of cyber party. But to be, let's say, short and very simplistic, we have during the last month experienced the pandemic, and the COVID-19 was also an occasion for all the parties to implement some tools, some new way of thinking, some new practices, and we can expect that all the parties will now implement a lot of other new ways to exist. Thank you for your attention.